All well.
All good, all good. How are you?
Yeah, all well, all well. Nice background. Yeah, is this, yeah, is it? How did you get that background?
That's my office.
Yeah, looks good, looks good.
That's
Nice.
all of the
Ah,
awards put on. Yeah.
beautiful. Great. So we are 5:30 sharp, so we can kickstart now. Okay.
Sure.
So let me give my 30 seconds and get a green signal from Akhil. Akhil, we're good to go. And then he says yes, and then we're ready. Fantastic. So, good evening, everyone. This is Vijetha here from Thai Bangalore, episode 24, League of Extraordinary Startups, where we catch up with some phenomenal founders who are doing some amazing work in the ecosystem. They're growing their companies, giving employment, making a bit of money as well. No, not too much, but always a little bit of cash flow is good, and solving problems for enterprises. And more than anything else, they are the leading lights inspiring other founders. So today we have a good friend of the ecosystem and mine, Subu Rao. Okay, Discover Dollar. Man, that's what I really like. No, nice name. So I think Subu, the first question that I'll ask you is Discover Dollar. Why did you find this name out for yourself?
Yeah. So one of the things I always heard was you should not be left to tell after saying the name, hey, what do you guys do? Right? Your name should depict what you guys do. Like make my trip, naukri.com. So you just hear the word, you will know, hey, what are these guys up to, right? So that was always an inspiration for me. And I thought, if I'm starting this company, I need to name it in that way. And Discover Dollar, what we do is discovering millions of dollars. So it's a nice and crisp way to set up a name, right? Jeda, I'm not able to hear you. Just give me a
Yeah,
second.
I'm good. I think it's better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, thank God he chose dollar and not pound or not something else. Good.
Still, dollars is
I know.
the currency of the world yet, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely. So, Subbu, how's the journey been? I mean, this is an open-ended conversation. I think the audience and the founders would love to know that how are things going on with you? Things have, of course, there will be ups and downs. And how's it happening? What are the challenges you're facing? So maybe you can just share some insights with us.
Definitely, right? So from a journey perspective, I have to say, 2014 is when I started this company, right? So when in 2014, probably the ecosystem was not as vibrant as it is now. I still remember I had attended a Thai session next to the hockey stadium where there was one of the few sessions which was happening back then. I used to stand in a corner and see all the entrepreneurs, vibrant entrepreneurs speaking to each other and making conversation. So that was my first entry to Bangalore. So when I started this Discover Dollar, the idea was a little different, but it is in the same domain. So my inspiration came from Twitter. Like I was doing a lot of sentiment analysis back then. That was a 2014 election time. Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi were actually going for an election. So what happened was I was doing the sentiment analysis where I was doing a lot of NLP and a lot of data science related work on top of SAP HANA. So when I did that, it struck like a say eureka, right? I connected to the problems I saw long back when I was working. I'd seen there was so much of manual efforts going into finding and leakages. People have to manually read through documents, contracts to see, hey, have they paid the right money to the supplier or not? So I thought, hey, if we can use NLP, I think it can be a game changer. And that's how the whole thought started, and started building a prototype. When we built the prototype, SAP actually gave us an award saying this is one of the most innovative solution as an award, and they flew us to Orlando, Florida to receive that award. That was like a great booster for me to get a feeling that, hey, what we thought is not something just like a fancy idea. This is something even one of the world's largest company thinks is a serious problem for them and their customers, right? So that's how the journey started. If I have to dwell later, 2014, it was just a concept stage, just was a prototype. Nothing was built. I was a one-man army, and I had say a developer given for free of cost from SAP, and that's how we started the journey of building the prototype and all. So later, I was speaking to a lot of enterprises in India and trying to close the deals here. So everybody was asking me a question: how many customers you're working with, right? So nobody wanted to be the first guys to be signing us up, and that was something which I saw in enterprise ecosystem in India. At least they don't want to be trying their hands first. At least as I'm speaking about 5 years back, right? So there were not enough corporate accelerators back then in India, to be very honest. So this culture of trying out was not so much. Um, but later, through the hustle, I started building connections, network, and we happened to get into the Target Accelerator. And in 2015, when we did a pilot with them, we could save them a huge chunk of money, like a couple of $1 million, right? So that actually was a boost for both us, and we were one of the first earliest success coming out of a target accelerator program, which was like a great success story for them. At the same time, it was a huge boost for us as well. So that's how we started. Then we started building the product more deeper, looking at the larger ecosystem. Then we started going global somewhere in 2018. Now we are working with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and yeah, so that's how the journey has been. So if I have to just quickly give a glimpse of what we have been, if I have to just go a couple of slide.
Yeah, please, please. Yeah, nice.
So what we go and tell our customers is we deliver $1 million real impact in 12 weeks, and it's a completely success based model, right? So for the vision for Discover Dollar is to help enterprises like the Fortune 500 companies to discover real value by harnessing AI and using data first as an approach. So just to give the kind of traction what we have done, we are working with many Fortune 500 customers. We have now analyzed more than $1 trillion in spend, and we have also looked into more than 40 million emails and contracts and delivered more than $300 million direct bottom line impact for these customers. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome story. Very inspiring, Subu. Super inspiration, right?
Thank you.
And
Thank
this
you.
makes sense, isn't it? This really makes sense that you got to get the big enterprise customers. No one is doing you a favor. Subu, I mean, one of the things I want to know, 6 years journey. I know what you're talking about. It must not have been easy. Ups and downs will always be there, but you stuck to it. How big is your team right now?
So we are around 30 people team, plus we have some consultant as well. So 30 to 35 in between that you can
Okay,
say.
awesome,
So
super awesome.
yeah.
Brilliant. So, during these 6, 7, 8 months, when face-to-face meetings have come down, but you still have to, convert customers. So, what are some of the things that you faced? What are the changes, pivots, etc., that you did? So, what are you comfortable sharing?
Yeah. So if I have to tell one thing, when this pandemic hit, right? So this happened in somewhere in March. So I was in New York end of February.
Okay.
Like I went to Toronto, I went to San Francisco and New York. And first week of March, I landed back in Bangalore just before the pandemic, and
Lockdown, huh?
we had closed the deal and come back. So
Okay.
that was a good thing. So it ensured that we have enough work to go. So because if you're working with Fortune 500 company, you know the amount of work what will come, right? So all those things was already there. So our things were set. But as soon as we came, the challenge was March 6th or 7th. I heard in the same flight which I came, the British Airways flight, one of the guys in Bangalore tested positive, and that's when we started thinking, hey, this may become a big thing. And immediately we started running a lot of work from home experiments within our office. We did a COVID insurance to all our employees,
Hmm.
and we ensured that all people are safe. We gave a work from home almost a week before the lockdown was announced, so that all team members went back home safely and stayed back their places. So the good thing was closed a deal, but I haven't traveled since then ever, right? But one of the lucky thing I can say about Discover Dollar is, in the pandemic, our offering is becoming all the more compelling,
Yeah. Yes.
because we are going to enterprise companies and telling, hey, we can deliver you direct cash flow benefits, and you don't need to do any upfront investment, right? And people are loving that. So it has never happened in the history, but through this, I can say, through the pandemic, we could close a couple of very large Fortune 500 deals, just doing Zoom calls and meetings on Teams and things like that. So it's something which could have been not done at all. I couldn't have even thought about this happening earlier, but now it's. I think the world is changing, so I'm hoping this will be for a good things. So the primary challenges what we faced, if I have to call out, is on our hiring. We wanted
Okay.
to bring more people. We hired almost 7 8 people through the pandemic, but getting them the culture, getting them to know how it is to work at Discover Dollar was very hard. For We work on a very niche area, so people to get trained, it was also a little more harder. But yeah, we have learned to live with it, and we've been making progress with whatever possible.
Done, done. Subu, so some of the things that I would love to, ask you to request you rather to share is keeping the team together when you're doing 6 months of. I know you told me you did some experiments, etc. Right? So, what were the small things that you did which worked? Some didn't work. If you had to give some founders who are running, like say, a 25, 30 member team spread over multiple cities, what were the things that you can share with them?
So first thing what we did is, the most important thing you need to do is take your team to confidence,
Okay.
right? So as a founder, especially if your revenues are going to get affected, the first thing you think is, hey, how do I survive this pandemic, right? So as much as you think about the survival, even employees and the team members also have their own, uh, I can say, insecurities, and like what's going to happen in the future, right? So the best thing to do during this kind of crisis situation is get them to trust you, right? And that's the way you can do is make them feel that, hey, you care for them, and really really do things which you need to do for them, right? Like, we did small things like getting an insurance done. It was like very important to ensure that nobody is having uh, affected because of this COVID, and we gave them smaller reimbursements for all the internet and other things. We also told we will sponsor your, if some of the employees did not have good power backup at home, or did not have like set up to use, right? So when we did that, there is a kind of belongingness coming from employees, and they will be more agreeing and more willing to take that pivots, take that journey of change. And then you can actually tell about, hey, what are the real challenges you're going through, right? And involve them in some of the issues what you go through. So that's what one thing I can definitely call out. At the same time, I think we're already 6 months into it. By now, a lot of things have been understood and heard, but one of the things is to, if you want to do some cost cutting, especially on the marketing and other areas where you want to, you should plan it very ahead so that you have a better runway, right? So that's something I can call out. Rather than keeping it for the last minute, you should definitely look at it very early so that the runway can go for much longer.
Makes a lot of sense, Subbu. Fantastic. See, Subbu, now it's, as a founder, right? At times it's a very lonely journey, right? I
True.
mean, like you must have a sounding board. How do you know that the decision that you've taken with all your data, all your gut, all your experience, whatever you have, but you don't know? So, who do you rely on in terms of mentors, coaches? What are the kind of tools that you might use to decide whether this is the right pathway, etc., etc.? As a founder, what do you do about that? What keeps you awake and at the same time keeps you focused and smart?
Yeah, good
Important, right?
question. Yeah, so probably there is no one direct answer, right? So I started alone, right? Like for the first 4 years, it was like a uh, being a sole founder to begin. It's much more harder than when it started with a team. So one thing you called out, to be very honest, in my early years, I did not have mentors to tell certain things because you need to earn your mentors as well, right? If I have to go back very early days when things were really tough, I used to not have enough good sleep in a night. So early mornings, like 3 o'clock, you get up, you wake up, and you start thinking, "What the hell am I doing?" Right? Your every day is like so volatile. Uh, I was lucky to have some really good friends who were there to have a chat in the early days. And as I grew, it was difficult for friends to understand the complexities of the problems what I'm working through, right? So I had few good mentors, and I was lucky to have great mentors like Shipulal from Infosys through my early days of journey, Lalit, and as recently I had even a mentor like ex CFO of Google, who is now the chairman of Twitter, Patrick Pitchett as well. So those guys did not give me, like, I did not discuss my insecurities with me, but I discussed about the statements with them, and they resonated with the problem. And that was a very strong indication for me to tell that, hey, this is a real problem to go behind. And whatever the smaller challenges what I'm seeing looks small, much more insignificant compared to the larger goal what I need to look at, right? So those were some of the help, I can say. Whenever I felt very low, reaching out to these guys and having a one conversation made me feel lot better. I can definitely tell that. And I've also spoken to tons of founders, reached out to them through LinkedIn and my personal network, had a conversation. I'm a part of many groups as well, where I've built strong personal relationship with set of founders. Yeah, so those things help, and based on a specific individual issues, we go and have these conversations, and and most likely that some of them have gone through that already, and that gives you a great amount of feeling that, hey, I'm not alone in the journey, right? The question he asked. So this is something most founders go through in their journey as they walk through the life. Yeah.
Amazing. But Subu, the question here I have for you is it's all very easy to say that, I have mentors. How did you get the mentors and why should they respond to you? Everyone wants to talk to the Shibulals or some Series A founder. No, I'm please, let's be very clear. Don't laugh, okay? There has to be something that attracts or makes people want to spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes, listening to your problems. So
True.
what is it for the mentor? I mean, can you think about that? Like, I mean, I want this. This is a very critical thing for founders to understand.
No, yeah. So there are multiple types of mentors, right? The mentoring has become a sexy thing right now as well, right? So a lot of people sign up for mentorship, but maybe for wrong reasons. So you need to know, hey, what are the kind of mentors you need, and why are they coming out also, right? So most set of mentors now whom I have worked with, they are not in this for actually um, just the money or the pieces of things happening, right? They just want to give back to the community because they have got immense value, right? I got a lot of value from time. So I'm any day, I've already told you, right? Any day you want me to come and help in any ways, I want to do that for no reason, because that itself gives me a lot of satisfaction. I'm also doing mentoring for a few guys now. Like, it's not based of something to do, like something that I need to get from this conversation, but like giving back. One, second, also mentoring also helps in clearing our own thoughts. Like, we may be making these mistakes and we will be teaching them not to do it, but we will be doing in our own life. So that also helps. But coming back to how to find these mentors, so like I earlier said, you need to earn them. So basically there are so many people trying to get into having these conversations with mentors, right? So the way you show commitment is, uh, do enough research when you reach out to them, speak about the impact you want to create, and also especially when you are doing one meeting, usually you may get one or two meetings with these people, you start giving them an updates on how you made progress and how their mentoring support helped you to get there, and that makes them feel better because they have been contributing to your progress, right? And that is how they will continue to help you and support you as they go forward.
Done. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. So, Subu, we talked about coaches and mentors giving back, paid forward. That's very
Mhm.
beautiful what you're saying, right? You can add so much of value to many other people, but at the same time, you also need a lot of support from the larger ecosystem. Brilliant. I think that was beautifully done. Next question that I have for you, Subbu, is something that is very close to my heart also. Productivity tools. Okay, how do you manage your time? How do you make sure that existing customers are taken care of? Because you can't drop the ball there. Plus, you're negotiating, and you have your wish list of another 10 customers that you're talking to, reaching out to, approaching, etc. And you have to train your team, you have to coach your team. They come to you with so many things.
True.
As a founder, what is the way that you manage your time, your productivity, etc.?
Okay, so it's all the productivity thing is very good. Like I've been obsessed with productivity for a long time.
Please teach me,
My
teach me.
both individual productivity and an organizational productivity, right?
Okay.
These two are two different things. As an individual, you want to optimize your time. As an organization, you want to get the best outcome from the team, uh, for all your customers, stakeholders, and everything. So these two are, first of all, we need to understand these two are two different things from a productivity objective.
Hmm.
For an individual, working in silos will bring maximum productivity, but that need not necessarily mean you are being a team player, right? You need to have a very good collaboration being done with your team members. So the more you do meetings, it starts feeling like, hey, I'm not doing nothing, like, right? So this is another challenge what typically we go through. So one of the strategies we are using for an organizational productivity, because we believe in our company organization productivity is more important than individual productivity.
Hmm.
So what we do is we follow the OKR model, that is the objectives and key results, right? So where every organization has an objective, each team has an objective, or a department team or individual also, and all of them are aligned.
Hmm.
Okay, so we, for example, we tell for discover dollar we have an objective telling we want to achieve, say, $150 million impact for our customers this year. That's our organizational objective. One of the customers has a significant contribution, say customer X becomes takes one pie of that, and the team delivering for that has that as an objective. Now that is broken into multiple pieces within the organization. There are data analysts, data science team, the developers, the financial analysts, etc., who actually contribute to these goals. So they work on their own set of objectives. So all of them are aligned to the organization's objective, right? So one thing we had a less disruption when we went work from home model also, because we never worked on a task based model. We worked on a objective based model. So people knew what are the things they have to deliver. So they were able to go, as long that outcome based model was always been in the genes of Discover Dollar. So going, this is not what I'm telling at a little more on a strategic level, but coming to more tactical level, right? How are we going to implement this? How we implement this is every quarter there are goals set for individuals and teams, and there are weekly meetings done with these teams, telling, hey, what are the cadences? What are the outcomes we want to drive this week? On an everyday morning, the team members at 9:30 they come together and on a Zoom call, and they do they have a Google spreadsheet where everybody says, hey, these are my action items which I'm going to work today, and I need help from XYZ person, right? Everybody goes line by line, whoever is contributing on that the project, right? So it sets that day's accountability for each individual. All of us do it, right? Everybody working on a the the that particular objective does that. So end of the day, again around 6:30, people come back and tell, hey, I could achieve this action item, I could deliver this, and I want to thank a person who helped me to go through this as well. So this is done on an everyday basis, 9:30 to 6:30. We do this for two reasons. One, it sets us that, hey, 9:30 is my work start time, mentally getting prepared, because when you're working remotely, you think anytime I can work. So there are two certain set of things can happen with people. One, people don't even get into work for a very long time, and later they start trying to catch up game and they stress themselves. Or sometimes people have a burnout issue where they just can't differentiate between a work and their family time, and they just keep working and they start feeling uh, very frustrated, right? And the sudden dip and things happening. So 9:30 you switch on your work mode, 6:30 you finish your update, you switch off. Unless there is a very emergency requirement, you don't need to work post that, right? So this model we do on a daily basis. On a Friday evening, everybody comes together. Since we are 30 people, it's easier for us to come together. All of us come together on a video call, and we do uh, a session where everybody speaks about what outcome they could drive for their team or the clients or for the organization. And also they tell, hey, who was instrumental in helping them, who went over the board and helped them. So small recognitions, thank givings, all those things happen. So by doing this, we are ensuring that people are having freedom to work at their pace, but at the same time, they are not leaving away the outcomes they have to drive for the company, right? So this helps in ensuring people can work at their own uh, productivity channels, whatever they involve in. But end of the day, they have to be answerable to the teams or the clients and the organization levels, and that also comes through. And they are able to see, hey, how are they contributing to uh, really contributing, and how are they impacting organizations progress, right? So
Okay, awesome,
creates a
super.
lot of value
So
for
I
them.
think there's a lot of stuff that you're doing around HR, maintaining goodwill, maintaining the team bonding. There's a lot of hell. Yeah, wow, this is impressive,
Yep.
Subu. So
Yep.
next question, right? How do you make sure that the learning never stops for the team? Because you all are working with large clients, the expectations are huge. So how do you put in? And they say that the team that learns is the one that is going to survive. You're going to earn more money. So what are the things that you do, and what would you advise to founders be?
So one of the things I can say is, especially in the digital era and the kind of pace of technological progress happening, it's just not possible for somebody to be stuck in an idea and be there for so many years, right? Things are changing but changing by probably earlier by decades, and in last few years it was changing by years. Now it's changing by months, and possibly it's going to be week level change. It's going to come. I don't know, but that's the kind of scenario what happens. But uh, what I would say is there is a concept called fixed mindset and a growth mindset, right? So I subscribe to that thought process where you need to be definitely with a growth mindset to be able to adapt yourself to the new changes coming in the world. And there are so many techniques to be ensuring that you do that. Speaking about our own practical things, every quarter we have reviews on our processes. We try to see, hey, what are the things we did well, what are the things we did not do well. And our, say, with the technology team, they sit and see, hey, what are the new things we can look, how can we make progress, how can we use the better version of things. So there is always, we build process, but we always reflect back and see, hey, was this the best, or is there something better we can do, right? So that is has to be built into the culture of your organization, and if that is not done, I think it's going to be really really hard.
Yeah. So I mean, no, you talked about a strategy. You also talked about culture, and some of those famous Gyan statements. No, that culture will eat strategy for breakfast and all that stuff, right? What does it mean in the real world, Subbu? Because let me give you some pulls and factors, scenarios I'm giving you, right? You're saying 6:37, you want to shut down Friday, whatever it is, but you're working with global clients. Just imagine. Okay, so your Friday at 6:37 for some of your team members might be the start of the day for a client, right? So how do you prioritize? How do you kind of, harmoniously ensure that the team also responds? It doesn't become a pain point. I mean, do you face these challenges? Does it come into your purview anytime?
No, we have a lot of meetings happening post 6:30. I want to be very honest because most of our clients has the kind of day work during our night hours, right? So especially with the customers whom we have in North America, we have this challenge in Europe as well. So see, the way we have set it up is like I'm actually going through my journey of being father. Like I'm just 2 months into it.
I know, I know.
Okay,
Very
so
cute. I love your photograph, man. The way you're with your baby, and it's amazing. So cute.
thank you, thank you. So I'm actually right now doing all these uh, fatherly job. Like I say, like changing diapers to anything, right? All these uh, cleaning and other things. So I'm just saying this because I want to connect the analogy. Like never ever I felt like if when before having a baby, when I was thinking about it, I was like, will I be ever be able to do these things? Right? That was my question because it felt like a job at that time. But once you are involved in it, once you have that feeling of fatherhood, yes, you don't feel it's a job, you just do it, right? That is because you're so much passionate about it and so much involved into it, it doesn't feel like work. So what I would say is that as long as the team members are thinking, hey, this is my goal, what I need to do is make my customer successful rather than I need to take this meeting. When people have this as a goal, 1, 2, 3 days in a week having post 6 o'clock meetings wouldn't be seen as a huge challenge. They will see that, hey, this meeting will contribute to me better at success. This session, this extra time I'm doing will help in ensuring the customer gets the success, right? So that mindset has to be built into the team. And honestly, I can say teams do it voluntarily. They don't have any qualms about doing it, and we have had deeper conversations about those things. When we went through uh, the journey of uh, say this work from home, there was a peak and there was a trough, right? Like a situation, people were having this pandemic fatigue and all. So when we saw people, our team members having challenge, we did multiple sessions to call out. I spoke about my own challenges, my own inhibitions. All of the team members spoke about their own challenges working from home. When they worked from couch, how difficult it was. When they got a separate space, how easy it was. Or somebody having issue uh, working from home because they couldn't separate between their time spent for work and the time spent for their family things. So all of them spoke about it. So what we have done is, if there are any issues, you have an open conversation so that we can address that. So and since we work on a model of success or a goal or an outcome model for each individuals, I don't tell any team members go and take this meeting at this time. I tell them, hey, this your job is to make this customer successful, right? When we tell that as their objective, they are open to do meetings late evenings or mornings or whatever time. It doesn't matter, right? So that's all what I can say. That's a part of the cultural mindset what you need to drive.
Interesting, boss. Interesting. So let us now go to some slightly lighter mode kind of conversation, Subbu. Okay,
Sure.
so Subu, the founders, huh? So how many 5, 6 years, whatever that you've been doing, okay, and of course you have done other things also in life. So how do you keep yourself happy? If ever you get into a slightly doom dam dish mood, not so good, what do you do? How do you pep yourself up? Apart from your baby, don't talk about your baby and stuff.
um, So one
Music,
thing,
for example, I'm just saying, music or books or whatever. I mean, what is it that uplifts yourself or whatever? What do you do?
yeah. So yeah, there are multiple things. So one thing is I'm generally a very happy person. So I don't connect a lot of belongings and these worldly things to the happiness piece. The reason I'm telling this is there was a very hard lifetime part in my life which I had to go through in before starting Discover Dollar and even the early days of Discover Dollar. There was a financial trouble to mental trauma to a lot of things which I've gone through.
Okay, of
So
course. Sorry, sorry.
post
Yeah.
no, no, no problem. But like, there's a good thing which has happened, right? So, in the hindsight, it's all good. It makes you really, really strong. So, post that, what I can say is, uh, whatever the worldly things doesn't impact so much on your happiness. Though, yeah, but it's easier said than done. One day something goes wrong in business or something bad happens in the team or anything will also impact you. I'm not saying I'm like the monk kind of a person. It will impact, but I have built ability to take a step back and put myself outside the situation and see as if it's a passing bus, right? Like, and this will pass too, right? And this, if I have gone through much difficult time frames, I can actually go through this as well. This is when we go through a difficult times. But what I also ensure in the recent times has been ensuring that giving a lot of thank or being more
Gratitude.
grateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the gratitude is one of the key to happiness. It's something which I always believed in, right? So give thanks whenever possible, appreciate people whenever possible, celebrate small things whatever happens. Those things brings a joy, not only in family life, right? Even in work, whenever somebody does something, go and tell them thanks. And whatever good things happen, keep celebrating them. So that's how I look at happiness, I can say.
Brilliant. Yeah, I just love this. Pay it forward, gratitude, say thanks, enjoy and celebrate the small, small things. You don't have to have everything in life, right? Small things matter. Health,
Very,
fitness. So, do you take care of your fitness also, Subu? Isn't that important? Your mental and physical fitness. How do you do it?
I can say that is one of my weakness.
Ah, okay.
I do meditate
Mhm.
most many times, but uh, of of recently not been able to do since I had a baby. Right, like roller coaster times of ability to sleep. It was for a while. Now things are getting back to normal. Uh, but yeah, fitness is something which I was not very good at. I've done yoga, but one of the things I'm taking care of with this little bit with diet. I don't take a lot of food, so that has kept me good. But that is one of the goals I have for 2021 to be much more fitter. So I can say
Awesome, bro. We should all do that. Huh? Fitness is
good,
everything in life. It is important.
very
Okay,
good.
good, good. So Subbu, now it's we are almost 40 minutes into the conversation. Okay, do you foresee some challenges? And from the ecosystem and community and all the people that you know, what are the ways that you can kind of because I mean I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, Subbu. All right, you have traveled, you have been to US, you have seen we have seen things at Thai. You have come for all those demo days, and if you remember, we had also met when AB and Bev had done this very beautiful session at, of course, this pre-lockdown session in Koromangala, where we also caught up and you were talking about this, right? So, as a community, as an ecosystem, as enablers like TIE or NASCOM or whatever it is, right? What do you feel are some of the gaps that could be addressed? This is not about saying that I want investor connect or customer connects, okay? As an
Mm.
innovation cluster, like founder to founder. Okay, again, I want to stress on this: founder to founder, the forums that are there. How do you think founders can support each other in a better manner? Again, you can't cannibalize, you can't take customers away from each other. What can we do?
Um, no, if I look back, right, so the ecosystem has tremendously improved since last 5 years. I can vouch for that, like the number of uh, advisors to number of the accelerators to the mentors and so many things which has come into the ecosystem is like it's exponentially much more. uh, I can say like if I'm looking back from then to now, things have been much on the higher side. So my connection is always on that, and I'm much more happy about the current ecosystem what's available here. But connecting to the things which is good in say North America, where I've been uh, meeting a lot of customers to stakeholders, investors, and other things, right? So few things if I have to call out. Um, One is the openness to try out things by enterprises is much higher there compared to what's happening in India. It as an Indian ecosystem, Indian companies, right? But significantly, things are changing in many large corporates. The kind of companies whom we have worked, AB InBev to Chivi probably will this is here as well, right? So to target all these companies have a tremendous support system. But if you see Indian origin companies, I think there is a lot more work which can happen, right? So
Okay.
I can definitely say there is a lot of opportunity for them to understand, hey, startups can bring real value and tap into the ecosystem and capture that value. So one of the reasons they are not able to see that is, I think still it's little bit of traditional mindset which they need to see, hey, there is another door unlocking for you where there is huge opportunities which you need to capture into. Some companies are doing, I'm not saying there is a much opportunity to do that, and if that opens up to a larger set of ecosystem of companies in India, I think it will be good for both startups, good for corporates as well, because it will help them eventually to bring that innovation mindset. The other thing, if I have to tell, is the access to successful entrepreneurs is much higher in the Bay Area. So if you want to go and have a mentoring session or a conversation, or even a lot of these kind of events, the close group events or a round table kind of sessions happen a lot more, and there is a lot more sharing happening on that lines. I'm already seeing that since last 6 months happening even in Indian ecosystem. I've been part of few such sessions as well myself, where founders come together, share very deep issues they have, and try to help each other. But I think it's just building up. It's
Understood.
something that has to grow much better. Maturity has to come much more, I can say.
Of course, Ugo. And see, I guess, and this is something that the founders have to come together also, right?
Yep.
You can't just say that, oh, what is the government doing? What is the enablers doing? What is Tide doing? Of course, we will try to
Very,
do our best, but the
very
founders must help each other, support each other, and it should be a giving and taking, right? Not just take,
100%.
because the takers will never stop taking, but then the givers will say, like, go to hell, man, I'm busy, right? That
True.
should not happen. Okay, fantastic. So, there was one input that came in from Varun, so this question was, I mean, it's a simple question saying that, in this changing times, has there been a change in focus or pivoting or anything like that in the last 6 months, 7 months, because of, whatever the scenario is right now?
For Discover Dollar, you're asking?
Yeah, for Discover Dollar, of course. As a CEO of the Discover Dollar, what have
Okay.
you done in terms of changes, change in focus or pivots in the last 7, 8 months? Were you forced to do it or you did it as a natural progression?
Okay. So one thing I can say is, since before COVID, the perceived value of Discover Dollar to the perceived value of Discover Dollar's offering has
Okay.
significantly improved.
Okay.
Okay. So because the kind of nature of problem we solve, right? We are bringing direct cash flow impact for large enterprises without any upfront investment. So that is definitely something I can say has improved. So with that, one of the things has happened is we have got a lot of inbound interest coming in, which um, we have a small team, have a limitation also, but
Yeah.
what we are working towards is, hey, how can we be able to deliver to, and we don't want to be just taking up just for the heck of it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not do a mediocre work, right? So how do
That's
we build a world class enterprise ready teams so that whenever we sign them up and we ensure that we deliver these things to them. few things we have got clarity over a period. It was cooking, but it was not very clear. This pandemic accelerated that for us. Is we have clearly distinguished our offering as two things. One, SaaS, that is a software as a service, and we have an offshoot called RAS, recovery as a service, where we don't tell our customers buy the software, it can do wonders. We'll tell we deliver $1 million impact for you in 12 weeks. You don't care about software, you get this outcome, right? Where our teams go involve and deliver this outcome and come, and then they show it to them to do it again and again and again.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
that model is picking up a lot, and that is something we want to be front running, because it becomes very valuable even for corporates. They don't need to do any upfront investment, which is like reduces a lot of challenges the internal person has to make from a purchase decision, because he has to go and get these approvals. All those things reduces for him, and when he sees value, he can opt in for a
Beautiful,
subscription model.
beautiful. So,
Yeah.
the Subu recovery as a service like Vasuli, yeah? Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what do they, I don't know what
Yeah.
do they,
So I
what do
just want to clarify that we don't recover as a goondas go and recover.
they,
So basically, we find money we are losing,
discover the dollars that you're losing.
and recovering that money in a true sense is not a big deal, because these large enterprises have a working relationship with suppliers.
Yeah.
So before you make a payment next time, you just collect this money back from them,
Uh,
right? But finding this from thousands or millions of contracts is going to be a nightmare otherwise. So that's where we come and help enterprises to find that.
Awesome, awesome. I really like what you're saying. Subu, you covered so many things, right? Productivity, taking care of the team. You face up to challenges, looking after yourself and your team also very well. That was really beautiful. And Subu, as you said, yes, I did. I take this as a responsibility also that we'll create more and more such kind of ecosystem activities. I, with Jagat also we have been working on something called Founders Forum, like and a startup Sunday. We did two of these things where we just call a couple of startups every Sunday, and they just talk about the two challenges they're facing, couple of insights, and then we talk to the teams, and we talk to the other founders. So we'll catch up with you on that also, and we'll try to do more. And you have to get me the blog, my friend. I've been asking you now for some time. Don't forget that
I'm
one also.
working on that. I'm working on that. Yeah.
Don't be shy, bro. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Okay, done, done. So, Subbu, listen, we are almost 50 minutes into the conversation. All right. We have Shivi also, one of your people that you're working with, by the way. You're
Yep.
working.
Hi,
Yeah,
Shivi. Nice to meet you.
yeah.
Good to
She's
see you here.
if she wants to come online, I also told Jagat to come online because they can just raise their hands and we can, just say hi to each of them.
So,
Just
benefit of other people here, I think Shivi is a part of the Innovation Brewery from ABN Bev. So, we work with ABN Bev through Innovation Brewery. We were able to create
yeah.
$1 million impact in the pilot. Now we are after $20 million impact for them. Hi, Shivi. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
hi, Subu. I think let me add few more. I think you are down selling what you have done for ABN Bev. Yeah, so Subu is one of the first startup of Innovation Brewery. Brewery also started 18 months back, and I think Subu was the first one I think you are the fastest startup we onboarded because the presentation and the value proposition by Subu was so nice. And in the first year, he generated much more than what he claimed for. And this year, we are just going global with him,
So
with his startup. And
give him a
we
bonus.
are,
Give him a bonus, Shivi.
yes.
And
And I think he has been a tremendous help in the ecosystem for us as well. We have also tried to, provide as much platforms for our startups. But yeah, it was very nice working with Subbu. And he has been one of the top-rated presenter in Innovation Consortium event as well.
yeah, it was a very nicely done, Subbu. Yeah, seriously, he did a really good job on that. So thanks,
Thank you.
Shivi. Thank you so much, Shivi.
Thanks.
Nice of you to take your time out on a Saturday to say hello to us. Very kind of
No,
you.
it is required from my end.
Awesome, awesome.
Thanks,
So,
Shivi.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
yeah, take care, Shivi. Bye bye. Cheers, cheers. Bye. Yeah, so Shivi, I remember that innovation consortium. That was really nicely done. Yeah, we had what 500
True,
people. Yeah, that day. Yes,
true, true. Yeah, Preetham spoke a lot about us.
yes, yes. Yes, he gave a beautiful. No, it's amazing, right? You have Abe who from Loves who has a lot of respect for what you have done. You have the Target team as well, and then you have Pritham and Shivi, of course, from ABN Bev also who have got a lot of respect. So it's amazing, Subu. I mean, I'm really the kind of journey that you're on. More power to you. And look, we also need to say that you should grow more, get more customers, and from the 30, 35 people that you have got, you should be double, triple, because employment generation is also such an important part of what entrepreneurs are. And I think we have Jagat. Yes, I'm just getting Jagat online. Yeah, hey Jagat, good evening, sir. What's up?
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Hello,
Jagat.
Subu. Very good evening to you. How are you?
All good, all good.
Are there even Jagat's baby is what now? How many months old, Jagat? Your son?
It's now just crossed 7. Yeah.
7. Yeah. So he's
What about Subu?
he's 7 months. Subu 6 months. Awesome, man.
2 months, 2 months.
2 months. Oh my God. Yeah, 2 months. Sorry, 2 months. So you have notes
I
to.
was just, I was just thinking, is there something that we bought that we could send over?
Yeah,
Can-
yeah. Hey, Jagat.
yeah,
Good evening,
very
sir.
interesting. Vijeta, thanks so much. Yes, absolute pleasure again. And daddy tips, I'm just like, we're learning this on the fly.
This is League of Extraordinary Startups. What daddy tips? Yeah. Talk about
Yeah,
that.
I realized that, I've been running every crave, and that was my first startup, which I think even now. But this will be the best startup you ever have, your baby.
Very true, very true.
Some very nice insights, Subbu. Very nice. And just to let you know, right? Subbu, just at 2:30 today afternoon, we had Ganesh from FluxGen, of course, one of the customers of Vidphone, but otherwise also someone who does a lot of work on sustainability. And
Mhm,
these are the things that we were talking about, right? How does the ecosystem come together? And Jagat,
mhm.
we have the Startup Sunday. You have the so many things, right? That we would love to have Subbu also be part of this. And see, you should, if you're spending time, you must also gain, right, Jagat? That's something that is critical.
True.
Well, I hope that's the hope of what you want to do. Look, but honestly, I think Vijeta, you know me well, and I've been here for a while. It's generally about giving back. Again, I said about the trees and the animals earlier. How trees take less and give more. Animals are all about taking everything, giving nothing back. Only fishes comes out.
True. No, I second with you on that. So this is called the give first also, right? The pay forward, give first. So I was a part of Techstars program as well. And they emphasize on giving first as part of their whole program. And I can't say how happy you become after you do start doing that, right? So there is a lot of contentment which comes along with that. So yeah, any day, whatever little bit I can give back to the community, I'm happy to sign up for that.
Really wonderful business as well, Shiva in Subu. I was just checking out and really interesting business. I don't know. I'm sure when you're raising money, people ask who's your competition. I'm really curious to know.
Yeah, we are chased by investors. We are making those plans next year probably. We are
But,
comfortable, right?
my question is, who are your competitors? I'd love to know. I'm sure the accountant in the company would be your number one competitor. You'll be
Yeah.
like, I know everything.
These big four companies are also competitors, but they do more of manual work, whereas what we use is data science way. There are a couple of large competitors who are doing it only this, but again manual. Uh, and bits and pieces of what we do, some of the large consulting companies also do. So I'm not saying we don't have competition, but they're all like not seeing that as a holistic problem which has to be addressed very quickly. So wherever these companies where we have gone and worked, almost 80% of the companies we had competitors whom we have won against, right? Because the kind of value proposition we bring, we do almost at more than half the price, more or less than that, and also we deliver value like 4 times faster. And when you're delivering like 20-30 million dollars, delivering it today and delivering it 1 year later has a significant time value of money as well coming in. So I can say we have 80-90% win rate against those companies in our ecosystem.
Outstanding. It's outstanding.
Yeah.
Really, first time, to be honest, I've not heard of Discover Dollar before, and I was
Yeah,
very
that's
curious.
what I and Vijetha was speaking. We never went ahead, like we were thought we're on a stealth mode rather than being out in the market. So probably that's what we need to do to attract a lot of more talent to come to Discover Dollar.
Stealth mode. I would agree. I've been on stealth mode for 10 years.
Okay.
I'm by default in stealth mode. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, hang on. Okay, there's a question which I rarely take, and actually, very honestly, I avoid it. because I feel that this is not the right forum for it. But Sampath is asking, how did you raise funds for the company? So you guys want to talk about that? Up to
My
you.
like when we started. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a bootstrap company primarily, I can say.
yeah. You are bootstrapped, exactly. Yeah.
So Jagat, you want to go on that, or I want me to?
No, then Sampath, did you understand what I'm saying? See, Subu is a bootstrapped guy. He prefers to stay that way and get customer money. Okay, so making funds is not the only thing that matters, right, Subu? I mean, again,
Yeah.
not you,
Now, as I speak, we have a lot of investors who are interested, but
yeah,
that's a better way to be. Like, there were points when we were chasing investors,
yeah.
but without tractions, investors don't want to be investing in your company as well,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So we were always into that chicken and egg story. So when we wanted to raise our first round, so the kind of money what an investor was ready to put was after getting a first customer.
Okay.
But after getting that first customer, raising that seed round of 50 lakh did not make any sense
Yeah,
for
it
us.
doesn't make sense for you. No? Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Good.
right. So, and again, later, what we want to raise a million or whatever. If we had a second customer, we did not want that kind of a uh, investment to come in. So, right. So we have been going through that journey for a while. Then we thought, hey, let's go behind only customers, investors, and we'll follow as we go on.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So, Jagat, you have raised some funds and your articles out there on your story as well. So, it's actually public information. But you want to kind of just say something very quickly to the audience?
Yeah, very interesting because I started my career with social commerce in 2010. I was building social commerce here in India, and we did that for almost 2.5 years. We were figuring out what is social commerce. I had a broad idea, and so that was very hard. We reached out a lot of investors. Then nobody really invested because one, there was no real social in India. There was no real commerce in India. Payments were not happening online. So, and of course, you had the Flipkart and Amazon who came in e-commerce. So I realized after about 2 years, and this I had basically saved up and took a small loan from dad, and then started off the business. I had like 1 or 2 months. He said, "This is what I give you now." In fact, it was almost month to month we started, right? Like a month's worth of capital with 3 people in the team. So that's how I started. And very quickly we realized that revenue is very important. And we were lucky because we were doing social commerce. We had a lot of outreach to people. We were doing some outreach. And we picked up some services deals, right? So I got some opportunities to build out some really marquee digital transformation products. It first started with a company called, for a product for underwriters laboratories, UL, who are, safety science company. Every PCB in the world, you will see a UL certification over there. And it's very interesting. The incident management product. We had never built such products before. I had only built social commerce and some websites before that. And this was so challenging because we were on Django and Python. I won't get to the technicalities, but then we get to about 4 years.
Let me make it simpler. So,
We made a lot of money. We made some money that I realized that I had to be in the game because 2012 there was no way of winning e-commerce with Amazon and Flipkart, and that's why we took digital transformation projects, underwriters laboratories, Cushman Wakefield, took this customer money with services business, and I had a pool, and that's when I went next to video chat and video communications overall, 2016. So I had capital. I'd done some good deals with large companies, put that back into the business, and built out video chat. Over 2016, we launched before Google Duo, and then before WhatsApp video chat, and then NASCOM 10, got incubated at NASCOM 10K, and then subsequently I was approached by some really nice angel investors, and 10 of them, everyone from Harvard to Flipkart, EY, KPMG, so every bunch of them reach out to us. The irony is that I didn't have a pitch deck. I didn't go to raise money. I went to sell them the product. I showed them what we were about. One click, boom, you have high quality video and all this stuff. And then that's when the technology director there, who's now he's the engineering director at Google Pay. He just said, "I will looking to raise money." I said, "Well, I okay, yes. I mean, it wouldn't hurt because by then we had really bought thick skin, right? Like we are running the business, and it doesn't matter. Nothing can kill you. Maybe you will not hit huge success." So I think a lot of times fundraising, when it happens serendipitously, is good because it just helps you. You don't feel that my business depends on funding, or many people say that, right? Like if I get funded, I can run a business. I bootstrapped for 9 years. I like that because it's not something great I did. I just felt it so much of learning, and you really learn what it is to survive and sustenance. Then we got sick, and now we have multiple VCs who are talking to us and term sheet negotiations. And but to me again, I'm not in a hurry to raise money. Never been in a hurry to raise money. Make money from customers.
Correct. So, Subu, I'll ask you one more question. So, you are not raised funds, okay, great, but you are talking to maybe talking to them, whatever, right? So, and I know it's 6:30 sharp, so I want to keep this very crisp. As a founder, obviously you have to understand legal and financial structuring and what is the meaning of the shareholder agreement, whatever it is, right? And both of you. So, what is the kind of effort that you're putting on a personal front? I repeat, because it's ultimately your decision. You're the founders. The buck stops with you to make sure that you're negotiating properly, you understand these discussion terms. How do you go about that also? Isn't that important for a founder?
When you're saying negotiating terms with whom?
Investor. I mean, we're talking about the investor point of view, customer and investor, right? But let's break it up, right? First, talk about investor. How do you prepare yourself to discuss with an investor? And how do you prepare yourself for a customer when if you're doing some due diligence? You can give bullet points, okay? Keep it simple, not too complicated.
Okay, my wife is a lawyer.
Okay, okay. Leave it. Sorry. Okay.
So I get a lot of help from her and very good. So but we always go and whoever is specialized. Though my wife is a lawyer, she also tells, hey, if I'm working on anything on IP, get somebody specialized in that area
Okay.
because it's important to get the specialist in that area to work with it, right? So when it comes to terms, go with the one who is good in that. When it's about fundraising, go with somebody who has done that itself. So never underestimate these things. Invest in these things early so that these things don't bite you later point of time. Right. So
Okay.
that's what I
Interesting.
can give as a suggestion for folks who are looking to raise money in the beginning. So yeah, because the moment you try to play economical here, it can become very expensive later.
No, no, it doesn't make sense, man. This
Yeah.
is just
Well,
doesn't make sense.
great, great. I think it's true. I think the way I see it, I think I look up to my dad. My dad's a company secretary and corporate law consultant, and we have been discussing these things for years, right? So it's breakfast when we have breakfast in the morning, reading newspaper. We are talking about balance sheets and looking at the business sections in the paper, understanding reserves go up, companies doing better, and stuff like this. He still go to me for anything compliance, corporate law. Like I don't like to go to. I mean, I don't. First of all, we didn't have too much money to keep spending on. And like Subu said, the good guys are very expensive. I feel. I look up to my dad and I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research and try and understand what the word legalese and but generally negotiating, right? Whether and customers, of course, a different story. And investors, for me, I didn't have a tech as such. They told me subsequently to give it to other angels and build the syndicate. But customers, I mean, so I don't really build a pitch deck for investors specifically. I don't see the point because unless you are given interest, right? Because everyone's asking, show me your deck. No, I can't show you a video communications company deck because you have to experience my platform. Otherwise, you'll tell me how is it different from Zoom, how is it different from Google Meet, and it's whether you want to spend time. Customers win-win, even investors win-win. Simple negotiation, win-win always. It's not win-lose. If you win-lose a negotiation, you've lost because that guy does not feel good, and neither should you lose. So, to me, always win-win and give more than you can commit. I believe again paid forward, and it worked for me wonderfully, and I think it will still work. If somebody is saying I want X equity, tell them, look, I'm willing to give you 110% X or 120% X, to strengthen this relationship because that's really what I feel. And I think when I do that, you're going to bring in more value to us also, and collectively we grow, right? This is something very important, I feel, and people don't do that. Negotiating is like, hey, is it 10 rupees? Can you give me at 4 rupees? No, I'll settle at 6 rupees. So you start going to 15 rupees and negotiate. I mean, this is absurd. We are in the knowledge business. We don't deal this way. So I make sure that, that's I don't know, my trick to negotiating. And I've done well, yeah. I mean, in the sense, we have closed deals with DTZ, Underwriters Laboratories, BJP, ZTV, Cushman Wakefield, Rent to Kill Initial, Underwriters. So we've done with really large companies, startups. The only thing, genuine and give more than you can probably take.
Interesting, man. This is really interesting. Okay. So fantastic. Hey guys, listen, it
We
is
could extend. I don't know if Subu is ready. I mean, I know it's a Saturday. Maybe another 10 minutes more if you don't mind, because I
No
really
problem.
enjoy your business. I generally just pop in for 5 minutes, say thank you. But would love to know more, Subu. And if that's okay, sir, Vijetha, you're the host. You can keep me
yeah,
over.
no problem. I'm also making sure that questions are being handled
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, that's fine.
I
That's
want
fine.
to take that question. Varun is asking about how Thai has helped me, right? I want to give my personal experience. Uh, Vijetha, some parts probably before even you came in,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. Of course,
when I
please
came
go
to
ahead.
Bangalore in 2013, I knew nobody here, very honestly. Other than my relatives, zero people connections, I can say. And one of my first event, told you that I attended the Thai session in next to the hockey stadium in one place where everybody was having conversation. I just stood in the corner and I saw. I attended a lot of Thai sessions in the early days of my life, which gave me an understanding of what the startup ecosystem is about and how things are happening. Also, we won the Anthaprerna Award where Thai was instrumental in
Yes,
doing
yes,
that.
yes.
We went to IM Bangalore, got a boot camp done, a lot of help from that as well. In fact, Thai Bangalore sent me to US with all expenses paid for Thai Silicon Valley in 2015. And I went to Thai Silicon Valley. I met Suja Chandrasekhar, who was the chief digital officer of Walmart, who is also a Thai member in Silicon Valley, and many more people I met there. And uh, that year, when I went, actually, Shibulal called me to Seattle as well. I went and met him. He made me introduced to their one of the Infosys first customer, Nordstrom. A lot of things happened. There is a lot of vibes created because of that session, that thing, right? And since then, Ty has always been very, very supportive of whatever I've done. So Ty has significant impact created in my journey of startup, I can say.
Thank
I
you.
just became a Thai member recently. So I hope,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's already a wonderful, we already have a reasonable working relationship, and so amazing. Yeah. But, Subu would love to know. I mean, so one is you're in the cost cutting business. I mean, you try and, revenue leakages, you plug them. And also, that, do you also see, you position yourself as a revenue generation, like the three buckets, right? Do you want to
Yeah.
increase sales, or do you want to cut cost, or are you going to improve productivity? So in those, which would you how do you position yourself?
So we do both, because revenue leakage bringing back is also revenue gain, if you see another way. And also, so in the year one, when we go, we show it as a revenue gain, and probably we show it as a cost optimization methods. Or if there is already, like I told, some companies doing half-baked solution, we go in and show it as a much more effective cost-wise and much more effective in terms of time value of money and all those ROI calculations. We have a ROI calculator, bringing discovered dollar versus not doing versus bringing competitor, right? So very clearly showing this value proposition and things like that. So
That's in your dashboard, or is it you
it's
have a calculator there on your website?
it's not on the website. It's all done with individual enterprise
Sheet.
companies, right? So we work on an ABM strategy. We don't put a lot of things on website because our customers are very, very laser focused and push. We don't do like throwing the stones. We find potential sharks whom we have to go, right? So rather than putting a fish net and taking a lot of small fish, we find big sharks and we start
Enterprise.
throwing spears. Yeah.
Enterprise big tickets, high
Yeah.
touch. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Super. Brilliant. We should probably connect sometime. Subu would love to get
Definitely,
on a
sir. I
one-on-one.
think there's a lot more to discuss and learn from you, and
You,
same with
yeah,
back as well for me.
likewise. Pleasure to connect today. Thanks, Vijetha, and leave it up to you, great
No
gentlemen. Thank
problem,
you so
no
much.
problem, sir. Always a delight to get all you guys chatting. I'm also learning. So, Subu, as promised, we are slightly over time. I don't want to take up more because you have to work. It's a Saturday evening, not even a Friday evening. But my friend, it was a beautiful session. Really learned a lot. Just to let you know that I'm all the other WhatsApp groups, all your other folks like Abe and Shivi, and who of course came online, and everyone is saying thumbs up and saying hi to you and saying nice things about you, man. So I think that's ultimate proof, isn't it? That's what that love from customers who care about you.
Very, very true. Very true. That's the happiness piece I can say, right? Which
Awesome,
makes
awesome.
you feel better.
Amazing, amazing.
Thanks, Vijetha. Thanks, Jagat. Thanks everyone who came online and been part of this.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
it was a great session. Yeah, guys. So thank you
Thanks.
everyone to the audience as well. Of course, this is out there on Facebook and YouTube. We're going it's there on Vidphone TV as well. And thank you everyone. Subu, it was a wonderful conversation. get back to your family and enjoy yourself also, my friend. Take care.
You too.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. Cheers. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.